Okay, so we're now in for game 2, and Xray.
And we have a
leader.
slight mishap.
Yeah. Oh, he's rejoining now. I'm actually going to extend.
Quickly, type faster. Nope, it didn't work. What happened?
Well,
Oh well.
I tried to extend the vote time, but I was like a split second too late because I mistyped. Whatever. I was going to give him like 60 seconds to get in, but.
Okay, well, so Xray lack a leader. They have a commander, and they've replaced Lord DZ, who had to leave, with Mr. X. Mr. X is a fine commander. He just doesn't talk a whole lot. So.
Oh well, apparently I did get it in time, but the time had already been raised. So yeah, currently Xray's leader is still joining the server, but
There appears to be an AFK for Quebec. Specifically, the player that Trickster especially requested be here, who has decided not to spawn yet.
Okay. Well, Valiant was right about him being. I'll just
Yeah.
Anyway, forgetting that, whatever. That means the teams are even at the moment anyway, because it's 19 versus 19.
Okay, so Hopfees and Complete Layman's squad here are doing something interesting. That is the Quebec squad that is currently heading on E3 straight into the complex. Difficult to see what's going on in here because the camera just clips through everything.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're trying to outflank and come around behind BE.
That's an
In the
interesting
middle.
strategy.
It's interesting that we are seeing Xray build a vehicle factory at the bottom. This is exactly what Quebec did last time.
But look at this, Jane has already spotted them out coming through that. He's already spotted them all coming up through there, so the element of surprise is gone. And there's a Jeep from Xray heading straight across now. Straight across to the north. And there's only a barracks up, so I'd be interested. I don't know who's in it at the moment.
I mean, it's interesting to see the winning team pick up the losing team's play by placing that early vehicle.
Candles and Reznov are now out, and they're dropping ulls. They're instantly nade spamming their racks. So, to be honest, if they get that down now, there's only one player running back, which is
Predator.
a Predator. But I imagine they're going to kill. I think they have to kill spawn people back. I don't
They
think
have
they
to
can
kill
get
spawn right now, but we're talking 2 engineers with an ammo crate there. That's like 10 seismics that they can get out in very short time. That barracks is going down.
Yep. Unless Pred lands the mortar of his life right now.
I mean, he can get in close and make sure that they have to pay attention to
He's
him.
got
But
one.
at the end of the day, they've
One
still
down.
lost their racks.
They've lost their racks, but if he can kill them, then they're not going to take anything from it, you know? If he can kill Candles now, and he's got both.
Brad got them both,
And
but
they've now got backup
Neone
infantry.
is already there.
Well, they've got backup infantry coming up right now.
This all depends on if they can actually push a vehicle out across
And
that
Pred
bridge.
takes out Yegi as well.
Well, what a player.
That really did. That
player.
could have been absolutely devastating for them.
That probably. I'm just gonna say that probably saved that part of the map.
Yeah, hands down. But right here, quite. So we've got a barracks quite sort of. I'd say quite conservatively placed from Xray, and they're not really trying to push up too far. Like they placed it back by the refinery, which is obviously the right place to put it if you're going to put it anywhere. But I think this map so far, I mean, like this 3 minutes in the last game, it was a lot more split up. I think
It was pretty hectic last game. Last game, the places were actually being contested.
this seems to be a lot slower paced. Really, it doesn't. The teams have taken what you would expect them to. Though I will say that I'm trying to. I keep trying to.
Mr. English needs to be landing a single mortar that kills 3 people.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. He just jeeped behind them there, over at E1, and killed 3 people behind that wall with 1 mortar.
Nice.
What a player. And he gets killed by a guy called Lazy Bow. Oh well.
So special mention for Omni, who's still AFK. But I think Spike has managed to rejoin. Yeah, he has. That's all good.
Special mention for Blood Pickle, who currently has a lower score than somebody who's AFK. Pretty sure he's fallen asleep at his computer.
Probably.
Okay, we are seeing conflict in the northwest. I don't expect D2 down there to actually go anywhere, but I do expect something to happen northwest. Because that is a pretty concerted push from Xray. But, I mean, Quebec, they do have a whole bunch of MG turrets up here already. 2 MG turrets, 1 ML turret. It's going to be difficult for them to push up.
Catface, Doc Rabbit, and Rockfast, I mean, they're making the good play of getting the wall up, like getting the walls up there to sort of give them a better position. But I feel like you can see Blood Pickle there already trying to die. I was going to say making the play of flanking around to try and cut behind the walls. I think it's really a case of if they're going to take this is a question of how many players Quebec want to.
Predator mining up the bridge and then standing on top of it so that the enemy jeeps drive over it and blow themselves up.
What a player!
What a player!
Oh man. But you know, Seabad sort of deciding he was going to salvage the jeep and then not bother because 20 resources is probably not worth it.
This is a good pincer maneuver here from Quebec. They're pushing people across this bridge while still hitting them from below.
Yeah, well the thing is they have a couple of APCs on Quebec. Sorry,
well, what I really want to see from Quebec is I want to see a vehicle factory in that north part of the map, and I want to see an APC rolling out across this bridge, and then they can actually get a proper siege going here.
Yeah.
They can hide an APC around the corner, and then they can keep pouring dudes at it.
Yep.
Because at the moment, they're just going to trade people here until they have nobody left, and then they're going to have to go all the way back and walk.
Surprised they haven't actually picked up a vehicle. I mean, they've got one in their main base, but obviously that has no way of getting up to that northern area. You know, you genuinely do. See, this is the other thing, right? They have decided to build 2 vehicle factories in their main base.
I'm just going to throw it out there that Reznov just killed somebody with a shotgun on me. That is the first time that I have ever seen that weapon icon. Okay.
What?
The placing a bunch of mines on top of a dead body strategy really paying off there for Predator. I'm not sure if that was intentional or if somebody just died on top of his mines. But in any case, what a player.
Just say Predator is now 12 for 1 in the space of 7 minutes. So you get for being a 5k player, Slade. Oh man.
Those 5k cotton skills really paying off.
Alright. But now that they're sending Xray is sending an AFE, so well, I thought they were sending it across. I'm not sure what this AFE is doing. Oh, mines, okay. He's a little bit scared of the mines, could be said.
I mean, what that Xray squad in the northwest have done is they have taken out the racks. So that's, I mean, if they can actually manage to get the refinery here and get up their own base, then that they've managed to actually take some ground. It's taken them a while, honestly, and it looks like Quebec have kind of stopped giving a fuck. They just withdrew anybody from that area.
Well, they're sending an APC now to try and recontest it, but that's too little too late, to be honest. I mean, it would have been a lot easier when they had buildings.
Well, there's still not a base up there, you know? Alright, so it's probably time to have a quick peek at what teams are researching. So can you open up spec for me? Okay, on NF, Lolliot is currently no active research. Okay, Fission Reactor, here we go. So, Fission Engine coming out for them. Armor, they already have Reflective out. And no weapons so far. So it'll be interesting to see if he decides to go for that 50 cal. Just want to mention that their resources, they have 4,000 resources at the moment. So their first batch of vehicles, that's going to be pretty big. Over on Xray, they have 3,400 resources, so similar kind of resource situation. They are going for Fission Reactor as well. They've got Reflective out as well, so we are seeing the exact same set of research from both teams so far.
I think the team, obviously, last round that didn't get 50 cal, I think they're going to be prioritising. I've seen how effective it was.
Yeah. I mean, I really want to put it out there that I think that Lord DZ's, if it was his decision or if it was the decision of the commander of that team to actually pick up 50 cal on NF, which is not like the done thing, especially on this map, I think they'll win the game.
Potentially, but
I
I've
think
always kind of
that
said that
above,
50 cal.
above all, it won them this game.
Yeah, but I've always kind of said it in scrims where the Grenadiers are obviously a lot more serious. You know, they're going to chase down every vehicle, something like that. I think 50 cal in scrims has always generally been sort of one of the best researchers, just because you can't overstate how important it is to be able to kill infantry quickly.
He has walling situation here in the north middle of the map. Jeep just drove up to those walls and it was like, well, fuck.
Yeah, he's not having any of that shit anymore. It's like, well, we're not going to push across
There's a
that
Jeep
shore.
with 2 people, is it? Heading through the tunnel system at the top, and it's about to pop into the north middle base, so we might see something coming of that.
Just looking at the middle refineries, each team has one apiece, but they haven't committed anyone to taking the opposing ones at the moment, which is surprising.
Jane and Neone. So Neone deciding to go for the vehicle factory, but taking a lot of hits from these MGs.
They're both in the...
I'm not sure if this is the play I would make. I think I would probably be mining up the entrances here, although it's... Okay, there we go.
Security's coming in, though. And he's seen that mine drop because it was still mid-animation. He's not going to get hit by that, surely not. Yeah, he sees it. He's not. Just want to see if I can get in there before it's too late. Can I get inspec on him? Please don't... There we are. Oh, did they die already, or...? Nope.
Jane living far longer than he has any right to in that base.
Yep. But then the counterplay in the south is Quebec doing the exact opposite thing.
But they decided to bring an APC, so they have the benefit of actually being able to spawn people.
And I think the other thing is that they're attacking from inside, where they have a lot more cover, really. Blood Pickle instantly making a really good play at getting the camera up.
Quebec's buildings were placed a lot better in terms of covering themselves from attacks from those tunnels.
Yeah.
They had the vehicle factory directly in front, so you can take out the vehicle factory if you want. But to actually get into the vehicle factory, you've got to walk past a bunch of MGs. I mean, Neone already...
Wow, that 50 cal doing work right there.
Wow.
They're existing, and they didn't.
Well, that was crazy.
But, you know, they're dropping a turret at the least. They can use it for cover, and they put quite a lot of fire down on this, and Mr. X here, you know, repairing it up. They're getting the AP, you know, they're putting pressure on. Is the question is,
it's one of those situations where you wish that you had 50 cal and upgraded grenade launcher, just chucking it in there.
Yeah.
Because an APC does actually so much work in that kind of situation.
Yeah. Oh, there's nothing better for it. Especially because you can get it over the walls as well. Just fire it off the wall.
APC heading directly into an B main base.
Yep. I got eyes on it now.
Deciding to just unload all the 50 cal. Pred running out. Pred in the...
I mean, he's going to mine it up.
Base.
Yep, dropping the mines there.
Mining it up. But I'm not sure about this plate in general.
Oh, he got one. He got AZK. Space created, I guess.
I mean, that was quite a committal for one kill. I mean, I did speak to Predator before the game, and he did indicate that we were going to see some shit in this game. But I'm not sure that these plays are quite playing
before the whole thing was
I guess both. That they had practiced some stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they're making some plays, but they're not making the plays, you know?
Yeah. Either way, it's obviously all space creation. I mean, Quebec, again, the map is split very evenly. There's quite a lot going on. There seem to be a lot of people up in the northwest. But I'm not like they've taken that area. You know, they don't have the refinery, but they've obviously accomplished taking it. But there seems to be a lot of people around here not doing a great deal. That, you know, a couple of people running over to take out a jeep, another guy mining, and another guy on the bridge near here. But
this is
like doing
what I want to say is that this is much more the map split that I expect from this map.
Yeah.
This is kind of like what I expect to happen when people play this, in terms of the divide across it. What last time round was kind of really interesting, actually.
Another APC heading. This is for the Quebec main base. I'm just looking at it now, and it's down. I don't know. I can't see who got out of it. Oh, it was Jane. But I mean, again, you know, Jane is one engineer here, and there's an APC being committed to it. So I'm kind of, you know, inclined to say, you know what, probably worth it in that regard until he dies. But and an LT as well. You know, it's all about, you know, trying to strip away players from the other part. And now if we look back
We
to the
again sort of
Northwest,
don't have anybody committing to these refineries in the middle of the map.
yeah,
Like they built them, and then they were like, well, okay, this is the split now, and they've sort of ignored them from that point. And they're quite important. It doesn't give you any map control, but it does give you money.
Yeah. I think the other thing is that we in the Northwest we had a lot of Quebec infantry and a couple of APCs standing around not doing a great deal. They built the refinery and nothing else, and now suddenly Xray have just flooded 4 vehicles up there.
Vehicle assault
And now
on
they're
the
racks.
top middle. B APC coming straight into it.
Yep. And that's the thing, you know, Quebec had that area and they didn't do anything with it, and now suddenly Xray have just swarmed vehicles. They've got 4 in that area. They've got another one in the tunnel, which is now Rhymes, Mr. X, Incognito, all getting out and just dropping fire on that vehicle factory. If they take out the vehicle factory and that LT goes down, suddenly
That
they've got
vehicle
no
factory is going to go down right away.
And there's one
Yeah,
LT there.
there's
That's it. You know, once that, and an APC.
There's an APC, but it looks
goes
like they're
down,
being pushed
there's no
as well from the
vehicles.
bottom. I'm pretty sure that this could be middle being lost.
Yep.
Just from this one APC push and the fact that they've already got a few vehicles in the top there.
Oh,
but
having said
light
that,
tank
look at the
light tank
LTs.
run.
Yep. LTs coming in from the south. Really, really important reinforcement. There are 4 LTs coming in. They've recognised how important that area is. Because that's the thing, it's very difficult. If you lose that vehicle factory, you've got no other way of getting vehicles to that location.
This is Jeffer and his squad, and they are saying no.
Yep. Oh, extremely important play there, and a big deal, as long as their tanks don't kill each other by ramming into each other repeatedly. But I mean, you know, if they can take out these vehicles, then hopefully they can put an end to this. But they need to be very, very, very careful about not losing these LTs. Repair pad's gone down, but they need to take out these AFVs. And meanwhile, that APC at the top and the actual centre is still putting pressure. They still haven't been able to take that out, and the infantry are still in here.
I mean, they've plonked down another vehicle factory, but it's kind of in a place where it's probably going to get taken out. And they have to.
I don't know, because they've got
on
infantry there. Retrofade and CPAD are pushing them back, so it's giving them the space they need to go.
That APC has had to pull back.
It's important. The LT seem to have accomplished what they needed to in the Northwest. They've taken out the racks, they've taken out the vehicles, and now they're just finishing off the final APC. And I'm sure they'll just take out the refinery very quickly. Yep, they
This
are.
has been a considerably less active game than the last one.
3 more vehicles from Xray heading straight up.
I mean, at this time in the last game, it was down to probably 200 tickets per team, give or take.
Oh, but
And
15
was-
minutes, or was it 20?
It was
very
within
quick.
20. But yeah, we've still got 268, 245 here. Kill spawning on BE.
Yeah, I wonder if it's for that APC in the north, or I'm looking on the map.
Yeah, I think it's to reinforce that APC in the northwest.
No, we've had a squad revive. No, look, we've had a squad revive. E5. We've Hashtawas, Reznov, Jay and Yoni. They've just dropped a squad there. They're building up these walls, and they're trying to make a proper push onto the Xray.
Yeah, but it's against 50 cal APC. I mean, I'm not sure about this play. I think they made it very obvious by kill spawning there that what they were trying to do, and there only needs to be one more 50 cal APC there, and they're never going to take it.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, again, there's been quite a bit of reinforcement. There's 2 vehicle factories, 2 barracks. You know, they're not risking anything here. And
Wow,
there's still
that 50 cal thing. What I actually want to see, what I really want to see is B is they're spending all this time dicking about in the north of the map. I want to see NF actually go and take something in the south of the map.
Yep. Watching this NF medium, unable to get over the centre. Is he going to take a run at it? Going around, okay. But again, finally, this refinery in middle is being contested. But, because I think they
I
swapped
mean,
places.
you only need those 2 refineries. You know,
Yeah.
that's all you actually need. You
Well,
can
that's
have those
having
on the
the
ones on your
entire
base,
left or
and that's
right-hand
having
side
the
of the
entire map.
You could have the entire left-hand side of the map, or the right-hand side of the map, and it's equivalent to just having those 2 refineries middle, as far as res income comes. Let's say, like you said, there's a lot of stuff going on in the north, and the south just seems very quiet in comparison. I can see.
Well, there's like 3 NF mediums, but they're kind of just pottering about in the southwest of the map. Southeast, sorry. Not really sure what to do with themselves, apparently.
But APC is still in those tunnels.
They can't push because they're only mediums, but there's no reaction to them so far. I mean, there's some APCs pouring down now, a couple AFEs. It's probably worth checking what these teams are actually researching.
Interesting to see the resources, because I don't feel like Xray have used that many resources.
Okay, let's see. Okay, NF, Quebec, they've got 9k resources. Lolliot is shouting at his team for the fact that they have 9k resources. He believes that they may in fact be doing something wrong by having 9,000 resources in the bank. So, they've got extended range cannon, they've got DU, 50 cal, they've got reflective armor, fission reactor, and they are going for upgraded missile launcher. So, meanwhile, on BE, they have 11 vehicles out, they've got 6,000 resources, they're going for medium tank chassis, which will be done in 30 seconds. Meanwhile, their weapons situation is that they've already got homing out. They'll have salvo homing, but that doesn't do much for their mediums. They've got extended range, DU, reflective, and fission reactor. Spike seems to be slightly frustrated. Predator running 3 people over in one go. What a player.
Sick river that doesn't need picking up. Anyway, still quite a couple of vehicles in north. I mean, I'm interested that we haven't seen any mediums out on Xray yet. It's surprising.
I mean, I want to say that this APC that they sent to the north was a great way to spend 20 tickets. Because if you look at the tickets now, it's evened out a bit. It looked like NF was falling way behind, but it's kind of evened out.
I want to throw out, it took Quebec a long time, but they finally decided to send a single tank around the back and just put an end to that shit. You know? I want to work out who it is that actually got around. I think it was Predator, yeah. Predator finally deciding enough is enough and just drives a tank straight behind and kills them. You know, cuts it off straight away. So that's the first medium tank coming out for Quebec to Xray. Well, the first one I've seen anyway. It's going to carry on the push in the north. I still think things are dying down a bit. Consider how many people were there before. I think it's definitely died down a bit. We've got a lone tank for Quebec. Sort of trying to cross some space.
Quebec, I think, need more territory, and they have enough resources, as we've just seen, that they really should have more vehicles out taking territory.
If I was them, right, I just feel like, because they've now got both center refineries, right? They've actually done that. I know there's a medium to going to contest one of them. It's they've definitely got them both now. But I think if they take the south, suddenly they've got both middle refineries. They've got the north. They're still holding on to it. If they take the south, suddenly they have a monstrous resource income, and obviously onto the counter that, Xray will really be struggling for income. And I think that's what they really need to be focusing on, because the south has been so undefended. There's not even many walls right now. There's no battle lines there because of how long it's been going on for. Special second round in a row on the bottom of the scoreboards, having not spawned yet. It looks now like Quebec have realised this in the south. They're committing a lot of tanks. I mean, they're charging in at the moment. There's 3 tanks, one of which nearly got flipped, but there's multiple tanks coming out from Xray. 5 mediums that went from 2 to 5 in the space of no time at all. But they're focusing on the objectives as far as Quebec, and they've taken out the vehicle factory. So those 5 tanks are the only 5 tanks they're going to have. Meanwhile, they're bringing up more and more tanks from the south. This is an excellent play from them. Like, focus the vehicle factory, like literally losing a couple of tanks in the process, but it was worth it. Because now they can stop any more tanks being produced.
I'm not sure that they can actually take out the remaining BE tanks there, though, with what they've got.
They need to be bringing more tanks up. I mean, they've lost a couple, they've lost 3, so you'd expect more tanks to be filled.
Big commitment for those tanks that are coming out of NF main. They actually need to divert some of them at least to going bottom. Okay, yeah, we're seeing 2 of them going middle and 2 of them heading towards bottom.
Yep.
That's what.
That's the other
really
thing.
What you see.
These 2 tanks here that are going across the middle.
The repair factory going up. Whether or not they get it up, it's a good play. It distracts some of the distracts them for the tank time. Waits for the reinforcements to come in. And if they do manage to get it up, then it's basically a free bottom of the map for them.
Yeah. Well, so they've got the tanks out now. The question is, can they hold it with those tanks they've got now? That's a problem now. It feels like Quebec's tanks are bottlenecking it. You know, they've got 2 at the front and they've got 3 still pissing about on the low ground. So they need to push those tanks up. You know, there's still 5. The 5 tanks came out for Xray, and there are still 5 tanks there. You know, they haven't lost 1 yet. But I think one of them looks like he's in pretty bad state right now. And he's getting out. That was Jane. So they've lost 1 of them now. If these tanks start to go down, see, it's now. Once that barracks comes down, I think it's going to be very difficult for the infantry to support those tanks, and they're going to end up having this tank. APC has gone down.
Another tank joining the fray here. One of them backing up towards the repair factory.
Yeah, they've made the play. They've got the tanks onto the high ground. That's extremely important rather than fighting uphill. And they're pushing this area pretty stunning.
I mean, this is actually really big. NF, I think they've won this because the numbers are starting to look horrible for BE. But it's really big because, I mean, there are not going to be any more BE tanks here for a long time.
No, but at the same time, they've...
Saying that, there is a push for BE tanks in the middle.
Yeah, I'm looking at the north as well, and they're pushing more tanks down as well. It's like they're really starting to get numbers up. There's 1 medium tank for Benodi, so they're heading across. That's for Xray, but I feel like with the north, holding the centre north and the centre south, as you know, they've got that refinery down straight away. They haven't wasted any time for it, though it's not built yet. They've lost 1 of the centre ones, but you know, assuming they get that back pretty soon, they're going to really start to strangle Xray.
Xray are taking this fight in the northwest, but I just don't think this is the fight. Like, even if they manage to win this, I think that I really don't see Quebec losing the top. I don't see them losing the top. They're just going to keep being able to push medium tanks down. Yeah. They'll be able to hold.
I think if they make the same play in the south, then it's going to be the same story, and suddenly the Xray are going to be in a situation where they only really have the left-hand side of the map. They're going to lose the northeast eventually because you know you can't hold that from a constant sort of push.
That fight is very much over in the south of the map.
Yeah.
I want to see some better buildings going up there though.
Yeah, this is very similar to what happened last round in the sense that once the team lost the north and the south, the game turned very quickly.
I mean, what we really haven't seen much of in any of these scrims is a team wins a fight in an area and they throw down like 2 Raxes and a vehicle factory and get them up in no time. Like, there's kind of a reticence to actually, you know, consolidate the area that you just took.
I want to throw out Xray have made the play. Okay, we've lost enough, so they've now taken both central refineries. Though there is a tank going to contest the southern one, and there's no one there to actually defend it. But they've taken both of those, so they're still holding on evenly as far as resources.
No man's land against 3 NF mediums. Let's see who this guy is who made this play.
Was he the one who drove across the bridge?
He's running. I'm not sure.
Whereabouts are we looking?
At E3 now, this lone tank. He managed to get away from like 4 NF mediums. That is a lot of mediums from Xray in the middle there. In E3. And actually charging these NF mediums into them is, I think, probably a misplay. They're just going to be outnumbered. Yeah,
of course, and it's not just that. The much lower profile on the Brody tanks there, they can really get up to the NF ones and just shell them from point blank range. So I don't think it's. But having said that, the numbers are suddenly turning very quickly. You know, Quebec have just massed more and more tanks out, and they've split them up. That's the other thing. The Xray tanks broke formation there. They were in a tight cluster. You know, they were holding on, and now they're all over the place. Suddenly, the Quebec tanks just ploughed into the middle of their group, and they just drove off in every.
I just want to throw it out there that they probably don't expect it, but Xray could just send one single engineer up the hill to the bottom middle of the map and could take everything. Talk about not consolidating your territory. Quebec just didn't leave anything. They decided to build a refinery, and then they left 3 turrets and didn't even build them.
Nope. No barracks, no vehicle factory.
No, nothing. Tickets are dead even.
Yep. What's the research at the moment, if you could check?
Yeah, I'll have a look. Okay, so NF, we've got 19 vehicles currently out for Quebec. Lolliot is deciding to go for upgraded turrets level 2. He's actually got heavy tanks out already.
I can see one right here.
He's got 50 cal for those, he's got extended range, and he's got upgraded missile launcher. That includes the salvo, of course. Reflective engines and fission reactor. So technically, he's got some fully fledged heavies coming out. I'm just not sure about the weapon selections. I feel like the salvo ML is not the best on this map. I mean, it's good.
Omni just got shotgunned by Reznov, so he must have spawned. Oh yeah, he's spawned and he's managed to use 4 tickets already. So that's...
Shit.
Okay.
That's impressive. And I just want to point out that Quebec, they have 7,300 resources built up. Okay, meanwhile, on Xray, things look a little bit different. Chemistry is currently underway. They only have 800 resources. They are going for... They already have heavy tanks out, but they have no resources to build any of them. They've got 50 cal, DU, homing missile launcher, and ranged cannon. Fission reactor, gas turbine, reflective armor.
You say they've got homing?
Yep, they went homing. B went homing.
That's an interesting
Weird,
play,
right?
I'm not sure.
It's probably... I mean, considering how successful they were with it last time, maybe they thought, well, it doesn't matter what team we're playing on. They've only got 13 vehicles out.
I crashed. Shit.
Okay. So, on the wages situation is that BE don't have any. They've got one player who can actually build anything with wages, and that is their commander.
Just seeing if I'm going to have to restart the recording or not. Oh, it's captured it. Nice. I'll just rejoin.
Okay, and on NF, we actually have probably 3 or 4 players who can build stuff just with their wages.
Oh my god, what
Somebody on Xray crashed, I believe. Nope, okay, they're all back.
Back in the game briefly. Apologies for that.
Alright, so what happened in the time that you were gone is that Xray seems to have lost some of the grounds. They seem to have really been pushed back into the situation that we saw Quebec in last game, where all they have is their main base and a little bit of territory outside it.
Looking at the central refineries, is that Xray still holding on to one of them, and I think that's pretty important. I mean, it's just gone down now. I was going to say
It's just gone down, but also their resource situation wasn't good before they lost that. It was like plus 100 a second or something.
I think if you're on Quebec, you have to stop taking out these refineries that are further forward outside their base, at least stopping them from getting it. The ones in B4, and oh god, that missile spam is destroying the sound edge right now. They've taken out the one just immediately outside the base, but the missile spam is really starting to build up now.
This situation honestly looks pretty fucking dire from Xray.
Yeah. It's almost a carbon copy of what happened last round, really. I mean, what happened last week? Northern Faction won both games as well. Potentially there may be...
Potentially there might be slight balance issues, but I think it was interesting that basically the team that went 50 cal, that both teams went 50 cal. 50 cal on NF. Well, that's surprising.
I don't know, I don't think that's as...
It's definitely valid, but I wasn't expecting it.
Put it like this, when we use Scrim, we'd always get 50 cal for both teams just because of prioritising killing infantry, you know, it was always worth it. I'm surprised that, and I don't know about the current metagame as far as research goes. I've been surprised at a lack of rails.
Down tank in B5, let's just have a moment of looking at his shame. And he killed himself.
Well, I haven't seen his tank, but rightly so. Oh, I see. Yep. He did the right thing. Out of shame. But I'm surprised that we haven't seen any railguns out, to be honest. I would have expected, like, unless it's really, really unusable, I would have expected the tanks to be using them.
So, when Quebec were in this same situation in the last game, they were trying all kinds of cute shit. They constantly had an attempt, at least, to get somebody into the NF base, and so a bit of confusion to take some more of the map. I feel like Xray, when they're in the same position, they're not trying the same things.
No.
And it's just going to lead to them being whittled down, because really they're not going to be able to take anything. What they could do is just give one infantry push up that hill, and they could take back the high ground there. And that refinery is actually really important.
Well, they're sending a few infantry now in the south. I mean, it's amazed by how long it's taken. I mean, they've had. I see one guy dropping mortars here.
I mean, one person walking up there could have told them, they don't actually have anything here. We can just take this.
I'm amazed at how long it took them to do that. Like, They had, that's one of the most strategically important. On the opposite side, why haven't Quebec reinforced that more? I mean, Jesus, they could have had a barracks at that and been flooding infantry down this hill.
Efficiency, they didn't commit anything. They put down a refinery and they put down one level 1 turret, and then they just left and used that time to take in at the enemy main base to really put a lot of pressure on it. So I mean, while it's not a play that really should have paid off, it kind of did.
Maybe, but if they'd had a barracks there, a single squad could have gone down that hill and just literally within the trees and all the cover that's on those downhill paths, just drop mortars on the base all day. I mean, just cause so many problems for Xray. Now there's 4
it's
tanks
a position
coming in.
actually that you could win the game from, just because if you can get a scout next to their commander and just have somebody with enough points and squad artillery, then you can actually win the game.
Yeah, just stun. But having said that, I think the players. The parking, I mean, obviously I noted it in the Cyclopean game. I'm not sure if it's necessarily intentional in this game from Spike, but it would be quite difficult with the position his command vehicle is in currently. But if he exposed himself from that vehicle factory, maybe they'd get away with it. It's worth noting they've got 3 barracks but only 1 vehicle factory. And they've definitely got space for another, but...
Yeah, I think that's fine. No, I don't think you necessarily need another vehicle factory.
I think they need the redundancy, to be honest, because the amount of missile spam. Now, having said that, they've managed to push that main group that started to build up outside their base. They've managed to create some space for themselves again.
Just want to throw it out there that there are currently infantry, B infantry in NF's main base. They just kill spawned a whole bunch of people.
Yeah,
this is a squad of infantry. This is an injure attempt. Candles is stun sticking.
Oh my god, they're going for it, but there's so many infantry, so many kill spawns.
Where is the squad artillery? Where is the squad artillery?
Like they just... Oh my god, I don't believe it! Oh! Wow! I don't believe they got away with that. Like, there were a lot of kill spawns, but there's still so many people who haven't moved.
Apparently they did make that play, only they pulled it off a lot better than Quebec did.
Yeah.
I was not expecting to see that play from Xray.
No, I wasn't. Not at all. But that... They obviously... The previous round, they never went sort of... They were sort of trying that towards the end with Quebec, but they never went so far as to actually try that outright ninja attempt until they got really desperate. And now suddenly, they've done that, and it's just... They've ended it so quickly. I don't think anyone on Quebec expected that. Clearly, because there were only like 5 or 6 kill spawns.
I just looked at the enemy base and I saw the fact that there were a couple of BE infantry in there. And
I saw that and I couldn't believe it. And I'm going to start recording. That now puts... that's a victory for Xray, and that means that they are now 7 points... Sorry, is it 7 points apiece? No, 4 points apiece even. So that's where we are in the league. Next week, I think I'm going to set them up as Dust Storm. So we'll be playing that. Thanks, everyone. Bye.